But I think that if our community knew how often we lose teenagers and adults to suicide, they would be shocked.
Right now, nearly all beds at Tulsa's Parkside Psychiatric Hospital are full, the only treatment facility for youth here in Green Country. Parkside tells us the need to address mental health concerns is even greater now, nearly 1 year into the pandemic.
And the woman you just heard from, that is a Broken Arrow mom. She lost her son to suicide 3 years ago. Her name is Shannon Schwartz, and she is sharing the story of her son, 16-year-old Jamison West, with us tonight in hopes of saving a life.
Jamison was amazing. He was that kid growing up all through school that always wanted to help other people. As a parent, he was kind of that model child. You know, he was never in trouble. His homework was always done. He was a straight A student. You know, when it came to band, he worked hard. Jamison was a self-described nerd. Oh. He loved to read. As I said, band was his life. He loved to wear a good bow tie, you know, and a good suit. Just an amazing kid. Great sibling. Loved his brother. Loved his little sister.
Jamison was also described as a giver, a listener, and a good friend. On the outside, although a little shy, his mom says he was your typical 16-year-old. On the inside, Jamison was battling a mental illness that would eventually lead to suicide.
I think as parents, we have this idea that something horrible has to happen to make our children have suicidal thoughts. And that absolutely happens. I'm not taking away from that. But I think we need to remember that mental illness plays a part in that. Looking back, I see a lot of red flags that as an educator, I feel like I should have caught.
Even with extensive therapy, in-person treatment, and medication, Jamison made the decision on September 29, 2017 to end his life by jumping off the bleachers at Broken Arrow's Memorial Stadium after a football game.
And I think he just got tired and couldn't fight it anymore.
After it happened, Jamison's dad wrote on social media, Jamison was not weak, he was not selfish. He showed more grit getting out of bed every morning than most of us have shown our whole lives.
He said, Mom, I don't want to die. I don't want to leave you. I don't want to leave my dad. I don't want to leave Cooper. He said, but my brain tells me to go jump. And my body, it's like I can't stop it. He said it's like constantly trying to fight your brain.
Sadly, stories like Jamison's are not uncommon in Oklahoma. A state health report released just a few months ago shows on average 2 Oklahomans between the age of 10 to 24 die by suicide every week, putting Oklahoma in the top 10 worst states when it comes to youth suicide.
I think in part it's our poverty rate, it's the lack of services that are available, and unfortunately, firearms are readily available.
The leading cause of suicide in Oklahoma at 39% is a problem with a boyfriend or girlfriend, followed by mental health issues and depression. And this is alarming. Over the past 14 years, the number of students who reported feeling sad, hopeless, or even considered suicide has remained about the same.
What I've read is that in Oklahoma, up to a third of boys and up to 60% of girls think about ending their life, to the degree that they're developing plans, accumulating the means of killing themselves, making their goodbyes. So we're talking about really serious risk.
Shannon realizes there will be a young person watching this report on TV or on social media who feels like Jamison felt. And for those of you feeling depressed, alone, and maybe even suicidal, she wants you to know this.
You matter. You may not feel like it today. You may not have felt like it all week, but you matter. And this world will be different if you're not in it. And if you are having suicidal thoughts or you are harming yourself, find someone to tell.
And Shannon's world, of course, does look much different without Jamison in it, but she's quick to tell anyone visiting her home that he is still very much there, with his pictures and saxophone proudly displayed in the dining area, his school jacket at the base of the stairs that lead up to his bedroom.
He was skinny, 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 and tall, and you could wrap your arms almost around him twice. I can't wait until the day I get to hug him again.
I thank Shannon so much for sharing Jamison's story with all of us. There are a lot of takeaways from this piece, aren't there? The most important should be we as a state of Oklahoma have a problem, and there are several ways to get help. In Tulsa, Parkside has a 24-hour hotline. There's also COPE's 211 and national hotlines with people standing by right now, around the clock, if you need somebody to talk to. Those calls, they are always confidential and won't be tracked back to your parents. Finally, Ken tells me that since the start of this pandemic, there is greater concern for adults who are feeling like ending their lives as well. Those same resources are available regardless of your age. I'll make sure to post them on our website, newson6.com.